Okay, I'm back, and it looks like we've got a green board now on OBS, which is weird. Let me know what the stream quality is like so that we can figure out whether this is a disaster or not. As you say, it wouldn't be a show that I'm part of if there wasn't a technical fault, which frustrates me. Anyway, it's now solidly green. Why? What changed? Nothing. I closed OBS and restarted it. Did you plug it in, sir? And did you unplug it? No, apparently that is what was required. Okay! Now, enough of that nonsense, enough of that silliness. Let's actually move forward with what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, right. Well, I'm glad that it works now, because it's always good. Right, so we are talking about the very final of the show. So let's go there. The very final of the show. This has been the plan that we have had since the very beginning, and of course we've been working through it, and we're now here at the climax, at the final. Now, we were talking last week about how it is that we're going to be doing this, what we're going to be doing in terms of basically just keeping control of everything, keeping everything moving forward, and we're there. We are in a titanic battle at the moment. An absolute titanic battle. I don't know why everybody, if you're watching D&D, if you're watching it, I don't know why the D&D Beyond overlay is coming up. Maybe it's because I need to turn it off or something. Turn it off. There we go. That was just distracting. Sorry. Right. So yeah, we're in this final confrontation, this mega battle which is unfolding, and of course all of the players are absolutely terrified that they're going to die. As a matter of fact, the one player was saying that it felt like if they failed a single roll, the entire thing was over. And that is exactly where we want them to be. This is the finale. They must be sitting there gritting their teeth going, is this going to be it? Is my character going to die? And we want the answer to that emphatically to be maybe. So by making sure that everything is incredibly tense, it gives us this opportunity to then play around and balance stuff. Now, I like to make sure that when players ask for favors from NPCs, generally, they will get what they ask for, if they ask appropriately and if they give a good enough reason. If it's just, I want this because I want it, they won't get it. What it does, though, is it allows you as the game master to then use your NPCs as very useful tools. Now, if you watched last week, you'll notice I've got two seeds, two things that I put into the water, in proverbial term, two things that I put in to make sure that if things start going pear-shaped, I can fix it. I see some stuttering happening again, and I don't know why. So, firstly, we've got Snicked, the undead kobold that Flick killed in episode 1. When I realised that Snick was going to be killed... Well, when Snick died, this horrid little kobold, he died right around the presence of the Black Tide, which resurrects dead things. So it was a perfect opportunity to introduce him into the battle map so that he can be there. Now, he could be an antagonistic force. He could be someone there who is going to show down and fight against Flick and Lahuna, who have gone off on their own to try and defeat the Commodore Gankari. On the other hand, he could also be a revenant. That is, an undead who has been returned to life, or to undeath stage, I suppose, because of something that they did that needs to be resolved. It needs to be concluded. So Snicked could also realise that his evil ways was the cause of his death, and so he's now trying to seek absolution because being undead is hell. So he could end up helping the party too if I need him to, because set up on top of that giant undead Kraken, there's that entire ship which has got a crew there. Now, I had originally planned out the battle map to include the entire party storming the Krakelich. That was my original plan. I never intended for Lahuna and Flick to go off on their own to go and fight this thing. Snicked is not a great fighter, Lahuna is not bad, but they're missing their big hitter and their healer, and, you know, so it's like, okay, alright, so Snicked could flip to the light side and come and help them if it looks like the battle's going in the wrong direction. We also have the sailing ship that Gellon Primewater is on, and that had been intended to be a naval battle that took place before they engaged with the Kraken. But of course things came to a head, and so now we have this battle that's taking place. Captain Salt begged Lahuna's mother, Rahana, to provide aid and to sink the ship that Gellon Primewater is on. This is great because it means that I can wait for that action to take place right up until the moment that poor old Jaggerjaw and Indigo, who are on that ship, right up until the point that they end up either in incredibly hot water or they succeed. Now, there's a reason why I'm doing that very, very specifically. They have boarded Gellon's ship with the intention of killing Gellon and possibly also taking out old Skellen as well, Wave Chasers. So they are there with a mission. If I were to simply have Rahana, the ambassador of the merfolk, take her 5 Menbei class ships and just sink Primewater's ship and kill Primewater, it would be a very hollow victory. Indigo and Jagsy are there to prove a point. They're there to prove that they're heroes and that they are going to defend their captain and their ship. So I want to give them the opportunity to do that. I can, because everything is an NPC at this moment in time in terms of who would affect the outcome of the battle. So if they get to a point where it looks like they are about to be defeated, they've taken Jagsy and Indigo, they've taken lots of damage, they are really surrounded, they do some silly things, which I think is about to happen, because I think Indigo at the end of the last episode was about to drop down onto them as a bear. All of those kinds of things. I then can have Rihanna and her fleet of ships attack the ship, buying the characters enough time to finish the quest to kill Gellon Primewater, to avenge the captain, to reclaim their honor, and then to get out just in time. I think that's the important thing, is that's the timing that I'm playing with over there. Now, we also have Captain Salt on the second chance, kind of sailing towards the Kraken, but also kind of fighting against it. I mean, there's a lot happening. There is a lot that is happening. And the challenge, I think, I'm just checking my stream there. The challenge, of course, is now, what do I get Salt to do? Is Salt going to ram into the Kraken? Is Salt going to turn around and save Jagsy and Indigo? What is Salt? Salt is the challenge. Salt is where we really have to think about what we are going to be doing. And for me, that is the unknown. If Salt charges the Kraken will just sink the second chance. And I really don't want that to happen, because we've only just got it back. On the other hand, if Salt turns around and faces Gellon and that ship, that's okay too, because then Salt is getting conclusion. There is something that's happening there. So those are my plans for today. It's about sitting back and watching it finish. And of course, right at the end of today's episode will be the teaser for Season 2, which I have to say I'm particularly excited about. Right, let's look at some questions. So Desmaner says, if the Primewater gets killed now, does he come back as undead due to the distance to the tide? It is a very good question, and I would love to do that. I really, really would. Unfortunately, I only have 2 hours, so I've got to finish the show in the amount of time allocated. I don't have a choice on that. It would make sense for him to come back, and quite certainly, I nearly revealed Season 2, quite frankly, that certainly could be an option for a second campaign, that Primewater comes back as an undead. I don't think I would do that, though, as the GM, if, for example, the Saltwater campaign was going to run on for another 12 episodes. I'm not saying it isn't, I'm not saying it is. Simply because we've now fought undead. We fought the Risen, the Black Tide, when Commodore Gankari is destroyed, hopefully. Thumbs, holding thumbs. When the Kraken is destroyed, I should say, the Black Tide will disperse, so the undead will disappear. So I think it's a good question, though. It really is a good question, and it could certainly be a wonderful twist, without a doubt. So There we go. Right. Seven-Sided says, what are the key things you think must happen tonight to make the climax satisfying? It's a great question, Seven-Sided. So let's see if we can hit them. Right. Number one, Gelen Prime Water must die at the hands, preferably, of Indigo or of Jagsy or of Salt. Lahuna and Flick must kill Commodore Gankari. It just must happen. There is no room for error here. They have to do that. Because in doing that, that will destroy everything. It needs to be an apocalyptic ending. And what you're going to see is, after, if you recall, that Kraken had lifted up its two tentacles and dropped them down, releasing this massive bolt of electrical energy, which surged towards the fleet that the Admiral Tarquin has put together, and it destroyed a dwarvish Thordane class ship, sinking it below the water. What this is going to do is Admiral Tarquin is not going to sit back anymore. Originally the plan was to let the Second Chance have 3 hours before they started to do their final assault. Tarquin is not going to allow that Kraken to continue firing and just destroying everything. It's very reminiscent, as a matter of fact, of Admiral Akbar at the Battle of the Second Death Star, not wanting to wait without engaging, wait for Luke and everybody to do their thing. So the idea is that they are now going to start coming in. So they're going to start putting a lot more pressure on everything to have to happen and to have to take place. So we need to have that happen, and ultimately the Kraken needs to be destroyed. If it gets to the point where the stream is going to end and the Kraken is still alive, I would be incredibly, incredibly disappointed. And I don't think that that will happen. I think we're going to be able to pull it off. Next question from Grizzles. What are the possibilities of more revenants being present, given that you mentioned the possibility of Snikt being as such? There's a fine line, I think, personally, between the amount of GM, and this would be called plot armor by most definitions, the revenants in the case of Snikt helping Flick and Lahuna. It's a twist which they might not necessarily have seen coming, so it would work once. To do it more than once, I think, would be overplaying it. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card. Of course, I've got Rahana, the ambassador, but also I don't want to overplay her. This is a victory that the PCs have to engage with. So I need to make sure that it's the PC's actions that result in the conclusion of this story. That, I think, is the difference between a railroad campaign and a sandbox, is that the PCs affect how this happens. I will hold back. I will wait, because I could solve this straight away. I could have the first-rate ship just start firing on that Kraken. I could have them targeting Commodore Gankari directly, you know, if they can destroy him that way. So there's a lot of things that I could do if I really wanted to, but I'm going to hold back and see if the PCs can sort it out. If they can't, again, I'll be very reluctant to just GM it, but it is a possibility. 30 Sock says, what kind of additional preparation did you do after running half of the finale? I have done a lot of thinking in terms of how do I make sure that this finale happens and it doesn't happen with a TPK. That's entirely possible. Who knows what the dice are going to do? Fantasy Grounds rolls amazingly well. We had some good rolls last week. Maybe we're going to have bad rolls this week. So there is certainly always that element that the party does die. They could do some stupid things. Certainly that could happen. But I'm not entirely convinced that that's the case. I think they're going to make some smart moves tonight. I think they've been thinking long and hard. For me, the ball is set and the stage is now rolling. So aside from figuring out how I can use Rahana and Snikt, that was pretty much it. There really isn't much for me to do. I'm certainly not changing the maps. I'm not changing the monsters on those maps, because although they were planned for the full party, by changing them up now, it's not a bad choice, but I don't think it's necessary just yet. We'll let the tension ride. M. Danica 13 says, what has been your favourite moment of the season? To be perfectly honest, and I hope that this doesn't sound too much like a coy answer, my favourite moment was when we started. Because when you start, that's when you basically take the dice and you go, right, all the planning as a GM, I'm taking this, I'm putting it into this dice, and the face of the die, by the way, it's probably like a 50-sided die with 49 faces of the players and one face of the GM. and you roll it, and you see where your story now goes for each week, because every player can change the course of it. So I love it when a campaign starts, and I'm hoping I will love it when the campaign ends. All the stuff in between, I thoroughly enjoy it when my players' faces go, when they cannot believe that something's happened. That for me is the greatest moment. That's what I live for. AK Writer says, what are your plans should you notice by the end of those 2 hours you will not be finished? I have asked WotC very kindly, and very kindly they have said yes, we can run for an additional hour. So it could be a 3-hour stream. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. We're keeping the pace. We don't want to slow down at the end just because we're not, just because we have that extra hour. So I will be pushing to make sure that it does wrap up within that 2-hour span. White Tiger 225 says, can Flick die saving everyone? Can Flick die killing the Lich? Can Flick die is my overall question. Again, this is the funny thing. Players say, oh, I don't mind if you kill my character. Don't think that you have to protect my character. I don't really ever intend to kill a character. If the NPC they're fighting is better than them or makes better decisions because their intelligence is higher, that's the case. That's the outcome. But if they're fighting and they're using their wits and they are thinking as a team, theoretically, it's 5 minds against 1, so they should always be able to triumph, even if they are still trying to puzzle things through. So that for me is where we are. In terms of that. Oh, can you confirm that Jonathan Lost from the Cartographers Guild will be the primary villain in Season 2? I cannot confirm that Jonathan Lost will be the primary villain from Season 2. I think that would be very funny. But just you wait until the end of the show and you tell me if you think Jonathan Lost will be wandering around. If you don't know who he is, Jonathan Lost is one of the sort of personas that I adopt during the show on my own stream, and when we're talking about the treasure hunt, he gives clues on how to find it, and I hope that all of you will be participating in that treasure hunt, Mama Saduq's treasure hunt. If you don't know what I'm talking about, www.greatgamemaster.com, you will find the treasure map there and the clues. We've actually updated that page because today is the day the final clue comes out. We have moved out the announcement. We're going to do it on the 1st of September, but because of the delay of a week, we're now actually doing it later. I think it's the 10th of September will be that new show. Next question. Jask asks, how are we doing for time? 2 minutes. Okay. Jask asks, what would you change from the story this season, if anything? What would I change? I think it's difficult to say because I think it's all been integral. You know, you sort of say, okay, well, would I take something out? And there are 2 options. Either I could take out the Gellan Prime Water thing with Salt, because that chewed up 4 episodes in terms of unpacking that backstory with Salt and setting up the whole situation. But I feel like that was important because it to me, that makes the PCs and the story feel as if it's a real story, and that there is all this extra nonsense going on whilst there happens to be an undead Kraken wandering around. The lizard folk encounter, the mansion encounter perhaps would change, but again, that seemed to me to be a natural progression as the characters went on their storylines. So I think what I would have liked to do, bottom line, is had double the amount of episodes that I could have run, because then I could have explored everyone, because I would have liked to have done a lot more with Indigo and with Jagsy. Lahuna we started to get more information out of, but I would have liked to have done more on that one. 1 minute left before we go to the live show, so I'm just seeing if there's any questions. Tasfarel1 says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you right now? I'm always nervous, but that's mainly because of the technology that's sitting here. My poor laptop runs everything for us, so that's one of my nervousnesses. In terms of the story playing out, I am nervous in terms of this balancing act that needs to happen, in terms of will the players find it exciting, and will you guys find it exciting? That's also a big pressure, is under normal circumstances, it's a table that you're playing with. So is it the 5 people around the table that are going to find it exciting? Here we've got several thousand people that are hopefully going to find this exciting. After the terror of of Game of Thrones ending, I have to make sure this is it's better than satisfying, that it's absolutely exciting. Anyway, that is enough from me. We have to now go into the live show. I'll catch you in 5 minutes as we go into the Ghosts of Saltmarsh.
We fought them in the air, on land, and under the waves. But it wasn't enough. Brave folk banded together, united in hope and allied in goal. But it wasn't enough. The black tide brought with it an evil of terrible power. Darkness sank into the hearts of us all. For we knew, as above in the skies we lost, so on land we'd lose. And our only hope was below. But it wasn't enough. Forces unknown to us were at work, and in those dark days it found purchase wherever it touched. For our best wasn't enough. And yet, a single light burns in the dark night, and it might be enough.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Ghosts of Saltmarsh as we enter into our final episode. Tension is high, everyone is nervous or flatulent or both, and we are about to find out what happens. Before we do, however, I just want to say hello to Michael, joining us via a special link from the middle of nowhere. How are you, Michael?
Hello. G'day, guys. Everything's okay. I'm not about to be attacked by creatures in the dark. But if you suddenly see me torn away from camera, send help, please.
No, it's a koala bear. We're not going to touch those things. They're terrifying. You're on your own. Sorry. Right, Jenny, how are you in Sweden?
Hello. I'm doing fine. I'm doing much better. Sweden's okay. I've been looking after it. And
Good.
so I'm just really nervous about tonight and how many of us are going to die.
There we go. There we go. Kaora? Kaora, is anyone going to die? Do you think someone's going to die?
No, I think actually we have a foolproof plan and everything will go according to that plan. And
Ow!
I actually think we're all going to retire very rich, very, very... Yeah, it's going to go great. It's going to be fun.
I like that. Whatever you're smoking, you can share with the rest of us.
You bring
Luna.
enough for the class.
Janet, how are you doing?
I can't believe it's already the end of the season. It seems like only yesterday I was riding my first giant spider. I can't believe how fast it's gone. I'm so excited. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that you're going to make it good. So,
Well, we hopefully will. Well, who knows what's going to happen? It's insane. Myri, how are you?
Hi, I'm actually pretty relaxed, but that might have to do with the fact that I've been at Gamescom the whole week, and
That's
that was
right.
slightly stressful, but it was also awesome. We played Dungeons and Dragons with the people from Larian Studios, and they really know their stuff. They brought their own characters and everything. That was great. So,
Nice.
well, hi, I'm Myra from Auckensparta, and if you want to look at me playing D&D with the Dungeons and Dragons Baldur's Gate 3 people, that's a thing.
There we
You
go.
know, it's awesome.
Super exciting. I can't wait for that game to drop, actually. It's soon, isn't it? Isn't it soon? I think it was soon. It's soon. It's soon.
Soon-ish. Right now, they're working away, not talking about it actually.
I'm sure.
Let's see.
All right, the stage is set. The stage is set. The final clue to Mama Saduk's treasure just flashed across the screen down there. At the bottom, there at the bottom of the screen. If you haven't yet signed up, go onto the website www.greatgamemaster.com. You will find all the clues presented to you, as it has now changed from submitting an NPC and following the clues to submitting your answer. Where is the treasure of Mama Saduk? Now, of course, once you have submitted your answer, please only do it once, because, well, basically I've got to go through the list and check who's naughty or who's not. Wait, that's a different campaign. I've got to go through the list and check who has found the treasure and who has not, and then who is eligible. And, of course, I put the books away because they were taking up space in the studio, but you can win absolutely amazing prizes, and those prizes have been supplied by our sponsors. So we've got World Anvil subscriptions, we've got Dungeon Fog subscriptions, we've got some really amazing stuff coming through from Fantasy Grounds, of course, and Dungeons and Dragons themselves have given us some of those beautiful, beautiful books for the Ghost of Saltmarsh, as well as a full set DMG, PHB, Monsters Manual and DM screen to give away. So that will be amazing. That will be announced on the, I want to say 10th of September on the live show on the Great GM channel, twitch.tv/GreatGM. So watch out for that. Watch all of the social news networks, social media networks that you can to find out more details about that. Keep an eye on the website as well. We will keep you updated. So yes, once again, thanks to Fantasy Grounds for our amazing virtual tabletop. Thank you to Dungeon Fog for the amazing maps that you're going to see in today's episode. And thank you to World Anvil for the characters, the world control and plotting devices that they provide us with. You can go and find their characters on World Anvil as well. And of course, a big thank you to Dungeons and Dragons for giving us this amazing playground within which to play and die. Or just play. I mean, you know.
Yes. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, so it doesn't seem like we have any audio problems today, which I think is good. I don't see anything in the chat. So I'm going to close that now. Heaven help us. So that I can go to the Fantasy Grounds screen where we have so many maps open. I don't even know where to start, actually. I've got just dozens of maps open everywhere. So we will allow Fantasy Grounds to tell us where it is. But first, before we do that, Cast your minds back. Yes, Myri, before we go. Uncast.
No, that was just me gesturing.
Oh, that was just
casting.
you. That was casting. Okay. Cast your minds back to the stormy oceans that surround us. Rain spatters down upon the decks of the various ships as their mangonels and trebuchets fire their desperate shots into the titanic form that is the Kraken that looms so close, so very close. Where are we in the initiative? We are on the deck. We are on the deck with Jaggedjaw hanging desperately to the top of the mast, glaring down at the form of Gellin Primewater, as well as Scarran Wave Chaser as they move around on the deck, panicked by the terrific thunder wave that Indigo has cast just moments before. Indigo herself finds herself at the top of the mast looking down into the chaos confusion as a pirate by the name of Serena is starting to climb the rigging to find who has been causing all of this chaos. And so I put it to you that is where we find ourselves. The crewmen on deck are busy running around, and this crewman runs over to the ballista and shouts frantically at the men who are manning it. There's people in the rigging! Shoot them down before they kill us all! Oh, shoot them all! Kill them, is what you are hearing. That is what you're hearing. Crewman number 3, who is the one with the ballista, immediately starts cranking the gears as fast as they can, swinging that ballista around away from the second chance and starting to point her up in the rigging. They need to make a strength check, which they will do very quickly. A 2. They are...
Curse
these puny arms! They're desperately trying to swing this ballista up, but they can't do it. There must be a halfling. So that's what's happening there. Crewman number 4 is running around in absolute panic. He's just watched his companion be blasted off of the side of the ship into the briny and is absolutely concerned that the next will happen to him. So he's busy tying himself to the side of the ship. Nope, I'm not going swimming. Nope. Not swimming. Crewman 5 and 6 are... no, Crewman 6. Where's 5? Crewman 5. Don't know where Crewman 5 is. Must have fallen off the ship. No, Crewman 5. Okay, they've gone. Just delete you. Bye. Crewman 6 is frantically running up to the helm. They are aware that there's a giant Kraken. They don't want to be part of that. Crewman 7... where's Crewman 7? Why did I lose Crewman 7? I had them just a moment ago. Crewman 7 has joined Crewman number 4 and is also tying themselves frantically to the side of the ship. Jaggedjaw, you're up next. What are you doing? You're looking down onto the rain-spattered deck.
All right. Jaggedjaw looks down onto the deck. He snarls as he sees one of the officer-looking individuals starting to climb up the rigging. He yells out to Indigo, "Indy, you've got a tail!" Not literally, figuratively.
Thank you.
And Jaggedjaw is going to continue trying to set up his large lightning rod, reaching into his backpack and pulling out another of the large iron rods, affixing it firmly to the top of the mast amidst the rainstorm while he tries to be ready before the first bolts strike from the Kraken, after having seen the lightning cascade and strike the dwarven vessel and vaporize it in a single strike.
Give me a survival check, if you please. As you stab this lightning rod into the wooden mast.
All right.
In the distance, lightning strikes the ocean with vicious savagery, as if perhaps it had discovered that the ocean was cheating on it secretly.
Oh no. With the moon.
With the moon. I have forgotten, I am the one who has to do your skill checks because you're in the middle of Australia, so I apologise for that pause. I'm like, come on, roll,
Going,
Michael.
I hope he's not waiting
Roll,
for me.
Michael. Right. There we go. I have rolled on your
Nice.
behalf.
Well done. 21.
I'm not going to roll for you anymore. That's not fair. I think that's cheating. You affix this rod very firmly, very, very firmly to the mast, and you suspect that this will not dislodge. This is definitely going to conduct any kind of electricity down this wooden beam. You realize you are now possibly in the second most dangerous place in the universe. There is one place worse.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And
of
that's
course.
where Flick
So
is.
we are.
Flick and Lahuna, you are on the carcass of this massive Krakelich, desperately trying to make your way up. Let me zoom in so we can see you there on the little map. If you recall, you've seen Snicked skulking around the brow of this large behemoth, and you can hear, coming from above you on the ship deck, mutterings and whisperings. What are you doing, Flick?
Whew, okay.
Rain lashes down, the heavens crying for the imminent death of someone.
Okay. Lahuna?
What's up?
I think I don't have enough spells to keep us both invisible. So I'm gonna cast it on you, okay?
No, but then you've got to stay with me.
No,
Where's this?
I'm gonna try and distract him.
Wait, where's Mr. Squidgy?
What?
Can you, Mr. Squidgy?
Don't worry, I have a plan. Here,
I cast invisibility on the back of her head.
Back of my head goes invisible.
Yeah.
Luna vanishes. You appear very suddenly.
Yep. I drop down onto the deck.
You drop onto the
Yeah.
slime-covered surface of this gigantic Kraken.
And then I say,
I can't see you anymore, but goodbye.
and then I run down towards Snicked. As I do so, I'm gonna unclasp the big watery sword that dropped down into the rift,
Right.
into the bit of Golgar. It's like a two-handed weapon for Flick.
Yes.
So, he's holding it in both hands. And as he starts running towards Snicked, he's just gonna start screaming.
You charge towards Snicked. Back on the other ship. Where the hell is the map? I've got so many maps open here. There we go. On this ship, Galen Primewater has turned and is striding towards the mast. He points directly at you, Jagsy, and then at Indigo, whom he sees in the mast in front of him. I want them alive, he says as he points at the two of you. That's all he's doing. There is a snarl as you are rushing forward, Flick. Snick's undead head wraps around towards you. You can see half his face is missing. It's just bone. And this big purple tongue sits inside his rotting mouth. He immediately pushes out his claws and then starts very, very carefully to assess exactly what you're doing.
Come here, Flick. I'm gonna rip your heart out.
He hisses at you and seems to brace for just a moment and then just starts running directly towards you. He's going to tackle you as he gets to you, but that'll be next round. Captain! What are we going to do? We're still being shot at! Comes the cry from the deck of the Second Chance as she is being pursued by Primewater's ship.
300 feet to the Kraken, Captain!
Shouts Till, the mop-eyed mapmaker, from the ballista at the fore of the ship.
I sort of stand there trying to come up with something to do for a second, and then Victor just starts turning the wheel, and it starts turning it to not any particular maneuver wise, but sort of turning 180 degrees, start heading back towards Primewater's ship.
Are you going to try to perform a maneuver to rotate the ship 180 degrees? Club Hall?
I don't think so. I mean, can I turn the ship around during this turn, or is that going to be
your best option is to turn 90 degrees,
yeah?
and that will
I think
decrease
I'll
your ship speed by 10 feet.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. No, that's fine. I'll do that.
You start to haul on the wheel from the barrel next to the wheel.
I highly recommend against this action, Captain. I don't feel we have the firepower to take on Primewater's ship. Just saying. Ship's made.
I know.
You forgot. Remember, I'm flipping out.
I know we don't, Morley, but hopefully we won't be alone by the time we get there.
Can I also just say I'm quite happy to be in this barrel right now?
Really, you don't want me to let you out?
No, it floats.
Fair enough. Just let me know if you want me to get you out of there.
Permission to fire at something, Captain, says Till from the ballista.
Well, take out those damn weapons of theirs if you can, then.
No, firing at aim! He shouts as he pulls the trigger of the ballista. He fires desperately at the ballista of the Primewater, and he hits.
Ooh!
Go Till!
This is why we have a one-eyed man as our gunner.
Yeah, that's why. That's indeed. Sorry, I'm blocking the score result there. 7 points of damage, not the world's greatest damage dealer, but at least he hit as your ship has tried to maneuver around. Back
Good
onto.
shot, Till. Well done.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain. Back on the deck, Scarron has seen what's going on, and he has loaded a very small little needle into a very delicate little pipe, which, as the ship is rocking, he holds up to his lips and he points directly at you, Indigo. And he is going to try and make his attack against you. Natural 20!
Oh no!
The dart shoots out. You take 1 point of damage. And you need to give me a Constitution saving throw as you feel this burning sensation in your thigh.
The NPCs are getting their vengeance from last time. All those 20s.
Okay, wish me luck.
Good luck.
Cross everything.
Luck.
Natural 20!
Bringing him out!
Oh!
I see your 20, and I raise you 20. Look at that! You glare down at the poison as it tries to reduce your efficacy of climbing in the rigging. To no avail. It has been ineffective. Scarron lowers his pipe, looks up at you, looks back, and puts the pipe away, obviously deciding it is ineffective. Captain
Maybe
Crispin...
elves are just immune.
Perhaps. He hasn't fought sea elves before, but he's fairly certain that should have dropped a rhino. So he's uncertain.
Talking about dropping rhinos.
Yes. Captain Crispin at the back of the Primewater has seen what you are doing, Captain Salt. At least he thinks he's seen what you are doing. Well, at least he kind of, sort of, is paying attention.
Something.
He is definitely doing something. He has decided that he's going to attempt to increase the ship's speed. So he is going to try and increase his ship's speed. He's got a crew quality of 4. So I will just add 4 here. No, not 34. 4. He orders all sails ahead. And he does it. His ship is now moving at significant speed towards you.
Yep.
At the back, Kaleo, the helmsman, has reacted to his captain's orders and starts pulling on the wheel, trying, it looks almost to angle the ship directly for the second chance. Captain Salt, what are you doing? You've ordered the ship to come about, but you have actions to take if you so choose.
Yes. I'm gonna sort of square my shoulders. I'm gonna raise my voice and go, all right, we're gonna make ready to board. Those bastards have us outgunned, and they have 2 of our people, so we're going after them. You with me?
There is the briefest of pauses, and then from next to you...
Yay! Yes, I'm with you, Captain!
Thank you, Flick.
And then the cheer starts to ripple throughout the ship, except for one voice, which says,
Do I have to? Can't I just stay here and shoot things, Captain?
I'd much rather have you on the ballista, my friend.
Aye.
Just keep laying into them. Do as much damage as you can. Without
Aye.
hitting Indigo or Jaggedjaw, alright?
Aye.
a lad comes forward.
Yes, a lad.
I think it's important that I
Yes.
stay near you, Captain, because you're the one that makes the ship work, and if you go down, then we will all go down. So, permission to stand next to you.
You realize that's not... I don't actually... Alright. Alright, I'll be glad to have you next to me.
Right, good. There's a
Big
cough
man like you.
from behind you, and Lieutenant Tarquin steps forward. I'm not entirely sure of what's been going on this ship. I'm still not convinced that I'm not a prisoner, but I do feel that I might be able to help in a fight. I am trained ship's guard, after all. And he sort of looks around at the rest of your crew. Nami is standing there with a meat cleaver in each hand, a sandwich in a little pack next to on his belt,
Very important.
looking eager. Even Bethany is there, standing, looking very sullen. She just has this very thin, long rapier, which has got a skull at the one end with red,
course it does.
cheap jewels inset into the eye sockets. And she's just standing there, holding the rapier between her fingers. The rest of the crew are assembled, looking ready. So, permission, perhaps, to join in this boarding, Captain Salt?
If you want. I'm pretty sure that your flying horse is going to be back any minute, so you're free to leave whenever you want to, but if you want to run back to your dad's, I'm not going to stop you. But you're welcome to join us if you want a real fight.
Right. Well, the thing is,
What?
which one do you think would impress the sea elf more? Running back to father or fighting alongside with you?
Indigo.
Yes, Indigo.
Think-
Such a lovely name, Indigo.
I think rushing to her rescue is probably going to impress her more, yes.
Right, then consider me next to you, Captain.
Although, I should tell you now, you might want to... You might have a rival there.
Well.
The big shark man.
Ah,
Just saying, I'm not sure about her heart at the moment. I wouldn't claim to know, but just saying you might want to be ready for that.
well, he's a big man, and quite
He is.
insane as far as I'm concerned. He tied me to a mast. Anyway, nonetheless, I shall be dashing and daring next to you, Captain, if that's...
I appreciate it. I do. As far as I'm concerned, you're a better man than your father. Lad, you're not wearing any armor. There's a breastplate over in my quarters. Why don't you go grab it and put it on? It might fit you well enough.
Thank you, Captain. He bows and goes thudding off. As he leaves, you hear whomp and watch as the mangonel from the Prime Water fires a shot.
Coming!
It sails across the distance, now only 400 yards or so, directly towards you. It's still a disadvantage at this range. It fires directly at your sails and misses. It hits! It hits your sails. Sorry, it hits. Ripping into your damaged sails already for a whopping 13 points of damage. It could have been worse. It could have been much worse. I rolled 4 1s. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Let's show everybody at home. Look at that.
4 1s and a 9.
4 1s and a 9. Minimum damage there on both sides. The ship's just firing at each other, pounding away as each tries to survive the other. Then we go. I think it's back here. As who's
Yorn?
next? Who's next? Who's Yorn? Oh yes, I know who Yorn is. Yorn is down here.
Oh goodness.
Yorn has seen a certain young flicky desperately running across the path and has now started to move up towards him. Indigo! You look down as Scarron scowls at you. What are you doing?
Can I drop down from where I am right now in the rigging?
You can. You are 30 foot up in the air, though. So
30 still.
yeah, you haven't. We haven't yet started climbing down. You could drop onto Siriana and use Siriana as a cushion.
You know, that sounds like a good plan, especially if I use my bonus action to turn into a bear.
There is a brief scream as Siriana looks up at this giant drop bear, quite literally dropping. Give me an acrobatics check, if you please.
With my stats or with the bear stats?
With the bear stats.
That's what mooks are for.
Can you hand me over the bear again?
Oh, okay. Let me grab a bear for you very
Under the
quickly.
Bear, dude.
Bear.
Bear me up.
Bear, trap bear, black bear. Is it a black bear or a brown bear?
No, it's brown bear.
Brown.
Might have a button nose.
Yes. And a dangly button eye.
Did you get it?
Didn't show up.
It didn't.
I'm not
Okay.
sure. No.
Let me try that. Did you get it? No? Didn't get it?
No bear.
No bear? Okay, hang on. I
I'm
remember how to do
rearranged
this.
all the maps and things and stuff.
Still
but
nothing?
No.
No?
No,
Alright.
no bear.
I will roll for your bear.
Thank you.
It will just be fast. I've forgotten how to share. It makes... I've forgotten how to share. I'm just too nervous right now. Your acrobatics is not great because I rolled the wrong thing.
Yes, that's a dexterity save. That's probably
Yes.
coming.
Acrobatics.
Well, it's better.
Athletics check, not acrobatics. Athletics check. Your athletics check is 19. You slam into...
One athletic bear.
Yes, you are an athletic bear. You work out. You slam into Siriana, and the two of you collapse down into the deck. You take 6 points of damage, which is less than she takes. I'm going to double the damage that she takes because there's a giant bear on top of her. She dies horribly as you crush her little puny form into the deck.
Death by bear.
Death by
And
drop
that's
bear.
why you get
bear.
some people.
Goodness me.
Let that be a lesson for the rest of you.
That is terrible.
Oh,
Indigo
wow.
feels maybe slightly guilty.
Slightly guilty.
Thing is, can I?
she's-
Oh,
Yes.
you're already.
No,
Already.
yes.
That was fine.
You dropped down and you transformed into a bear, so you actually still have an action.
I would. Oh, if I'm going to move, crewman number 3, nameless crewman number 3 is probably going to use an attack of opportunity, right? Because I'd have to kind of lumber across the ballista. So, I guess crewman number 3 is going to get the maul.
Make your you. Let me give you those
I'm-
stats. Have you got them? No.
I still have any berry things here.
Being a mean.
Alright, I'm just going to tell you the bonus that you have to attack. You've got +5 to hit, and you do 1d8 plus 4 damage.
+5 to hit. Going to. No, that doesn't work. I can't roll the attack just like that. But I got Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You slam into number 3, and then just drop 1d8 plus 4. In the modifier bottom right, you can type in 4, and that will add 4 to your damage. Poor crewman 3.
Yes. Poor crewman.
Poor crewman 3. 6
Well.
points.
From retirement.
Let me just
What
find.
was the bite or claw?
That was the bite. Your claw is now also at +5 to hit, and it's both claws. So that's a miss.
Ooh, that's a
Nice.
miss.
All right. So let me just do the damage quickly to poor old crewman number 3. See what happens. Crewman number 3 has already taken some of your blast damage, and that kills crewman number 3.
Ooh! 2 crewmen at a turn!
Holy
And more his face off. Yeah, it's not good to
Anger a druid.
No, don't anger a druid once they
Don't piss off the bear.
there.
Don't poke the bear.
Lahuna, you are aware that these undead are starting to crawl up the side of the Kraken as they've been alerted to Flick's battle scream. We are now at the end of the round, so I'm just going to adjust the ship's distance. Where are we? They are moving faster than you are. So that means they move closer. 300 feet to target, Captain! Actually, they're moving double that speed, sorry. So 200 feet to target, Captain!
Fine.
We continue to move through. I did not skip Lahuna. Lahuna, you were at the beginning of the round, which is where we are now again. We stopped halfway through the round last time. So you are up. What are you doing, Lahuna?
Lahuna is not the smartest person in the world, but she understands what's just happened. Flick's just given her the chance to kill Mr. Squidgy by drawing all the fire. So as he says, "I can't see you, but goodbye," she turns around to him and she sort of looks up at Mr. Squidgy, and then she looks at Flick, and then she looks at Mr. Squidgy and she looks at Flick, and she's like, "Little dragon, be safe." And I'm not gonna cry. I'm fine. Can I see Mr.
Paladin.
Do I know where he is?
You can hear something coming from the front, the prow of the ship. You can't see him
Like,
yet. He's about
right at the front.
Yeah.
Okay, so being invisible,
Yep.
I am going to move to the side of the boat.
Not a problem.
And are there hooks?
Oh
are
yeah.
there,
Oh, it's so easy to climb up. So easy to climb up. There's railings. There's holes. This is an old human battleship that was sunk a long time ago.
Are there holes inside it? Can I see inside the ship itself?
Yeah, mostly it's just the cadaverous ribs of the old ship design. It looks like there's lots of muck in there. It also looks like a lot of the ship is actually buried into the Kraken's flesh itself. That's how, as the Kraken moves, the ship doesn't fall off.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna climb up the side.
Sure, not a problem. As you get onto the top deck, the wood actually sags a little bit because it's so wet. And you see the following. I will share it with you now. As soon as I find it, because they are there. There are two, it looks like ghoul-like things standing on the mangonel. They're just standing, they're not moving yet. And right at the front is this very impressive looking, very rotten looking man. He's dressed similarly to the admiral that's been running around town. Did you ever see the statue in the town centre?
No, but I saw the statue in the attic.
Yes, it looks almost identical to the statue in the attic, standing at the front of this ship. completely ignoring you. He appears to be focused primarily... Oops, wrong. He appears to be primarily focused on the screaming little kobolds that are about... Well, the seabold and the kobold that are about to engage with one another. He has not noticed your presence at all. You can move again or take an action.
I'm going to move again. Now I'm not underwater anymore, am I? I'm on.
No, you're on land.
So I'm going to climb back down the ship.
You're going to climb back down the ship. Okay.
Yep.
All right, that's what you do. Crewman number 2 is blind panicking on the deck of the Prime Water because there is suddenly a drop bear that has appeared and crushed Siriana underneath it and then ripped the face off of someone affectionately known as crewman number 3, I think it was. So
Ready.
he blind panics with a natural 1
Ooh!
and jumps overboard.
That's what I like to see.
Indigo gives a little.
3 people in the turn!
It's too much. It's just too much. Crewman number 4 is now firmly and safely secured to the side of the ship. Crewman number 6 has met up with Captain Crispin, who is ordering crewman number 6 to get back into that fight, you spineless worm! Kill the bear thing! And so crewman number 6 will move as fast as they possibly can't, in their very casual way, this way, kind of looking aggressive, but making sure that they're not the first one to engage with the giant bear. Crewman number 7, having noticed that crewman number 4 is firmly lashed to the side of the ship, and that there's no one on the ballista, let's see, does not take the initiative, and instead decides that they should just stay there, because it looks fairly safe from their perspective. They have failed to take into account the giant Sharkan that is only 30 foot above them. Jagsy, what are you doing?
Well, seeing that there's this rather weak and feeble person 30 feet below me, I reach out and draw my anchor.
2
And,
large metal objects at the top of the mast of the lightning storm?
That's the
You're
one.
rolling secret dice.
I'm going to... actually, you know what? No. Who's on the helm of Prime Water ship?
A young individual by the name of Kaleo.
Oh, no.
As he's steering the ship with intent towards the
There's
second
one.
chance.
I'm going to try and find a strong rope that seems to go from the mast down towards the yard arm, and ideally down towards where the helm is.
Absolutely. There are plenty of lines leading from the main mast down to the arc deck. Yep.
Fantastic. And I'm going to use the hook of my anchor as a flying fox to slide down towards the man on the helm.
Right. How are you going to impact with this poor individual?
With the heel of my very heavy size 12s.
Alright. You come screeching down this line. I need you to give me a ranged attack, if you please, using yourself as the ranged weapon. You sail down this guy line, and you're not the brown bear. You are that one. And so your attacks...
Drop sharks.
It's raining men
Yay!
again.
You come slamming into poor old Kaleo. He does not have a hope in hell of resisting that. He's holding onto the wheel. The next minute he looks up and there's Shark Boot. Forget Shark Week. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40 feet that you've gone, plus inertia. And so you deal a whopping 19 points of damage to Kaleo.
Oh!
I should have dropped that on Kaleo. I didn't. Give me a chance here. Why did that jump?
On this stream, every week is Shark Week.
On this week, every week is Shark Week. Kaleo is not dead. Kaleo as a named character has got more hit points than we anticipated, so there we go. It skipped.
And to be
I don't know.
Jagsy looks at him and says, "Lie down."
I will come back to you. I was going to skip through this. I don't know why it jumped around. Yes, you have slammed into poor old Kaleo, knocking him sideways. He has fallen quite heavily to the deck, and as you say, get down, he seems to comply. I'm not entirely sure. I will get you to give me an insight check. It's actually kind of nice playing your character's roles. I can just make the rolls and I don't even have to ask for them.
You can take the flight. I mean, just saying.
You got a dirty 20 on your insight. Kaleo is not about to just lie down. You can see his hand is already going towards a dagger that he has kept quite firmly hidden in his jacket. We'll come back to you, Flick. As Snicked charges towards you, what are you doing, Flick? Oh god. You swing the liquid blade towards Snicked. Give me an attack.
With my dagger?
I believe
It's a
this one was
strength-based. Strength-based.
Yeah, I believe this one was a scimitar, though.
It is,
Which is
yes.
a light weapon, but it's still strength-based because it's
Correct.
not been...
Correct.
But it is light, so you should be able to wield
You should
it
be able
without
to
any
yes.
massive problems.
Yes, so you probably got... What's your strength bonus?
-2.
Ouch!
Okay, great. So I would say that puts you on a flat 0 to
Right,
attack. So
okay,
just
cool.
just roll a d20
Oh no!
and don't get that.
One!
Give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh no!
Flick flings himself off the Kraken.
Oh, you are so lucky. You are so lucky. You sail past Snicked because as you swipe with this liquid blade, the blade seems to triple in length and becomes almost like a lance, if you like. And it completely throws you off for just the briefest of moments, spinning you past poor old Snicked, who did not anticipate that maneuver from you. But it does, unfortunately, wipe out anything else that you could be doing. Are you saying anything, or are you just screaming?
Yeah, screaming incoherently.
Get you!
So much anger. Speaking of anger, Gellin Primewater looks at you, Indigo,
Yeah.
pulls out this very finely crafted silver rapier. Well, I had hoped to cut you up slowly, but it appears the luxury is not mine. And he swings at you. He steps forward and swings at you. He gets a dirty 20.
Ouch.
Slicing into you, you take 17 points of damage.
Wait a moment, what?
As he slices into you, his blade just illuminates with this brilliant blue energy, which wraps around you and causes you intense electrical pain.
I have one thing to say. You just used Indigo's hit points, not Barrigo.
Yes.
That's true. Berigo takes 17 points of damage.
How much hit
Berigo,
points does Berigo have?
34.
Barrigo? Yeah. Barrigo shouldn't be unconscious and dying.
No, Berigo is... yes. Let me just make a note here.
But still, that's going to hurt like a...
Yes. I'm just going to make a good old-fashioned
Like a
note.
mama bear.
He slices into Berigo for 17 points of damage. Berigo is in trouble. That is your last warning. Surrender. I don't want you. Speaking of, there is a shriek as Snicked slices at the back of Flick, hitting,
Oh no! Oh no!
biting with claws and fangs for 3 points of damage.
Okay.
And as he finishes sort of ripping into you,
You might have killed me once, but I'm going to take you with me, you horrid little blue thing.
and then
No, you won't!
he
You're
turns
gonna
his,
die again!
he turns his head and looks at the approaching skeleton horde.
I got a live one over here, boys.
He shouts, causing them to look in his direction.
No, he's the live one!
The skeletons are not confused. They can smell the living.
That would
Sadly.
be one bluff check.
That would be a hell of a bluff check, yes. Second chance, what are you doing?
Doing another 90-degree turn. I'm...
Oh, wrong map. Yes.
Another 90 degree... Another left turn!
Another left turn.
I'm gonna head... Oh, it's a right turn, I suppose.
Yeah.
Straight towards them.
Oops.
So I'm imagining they didn't expect. I'm hoping they didn't expect, at least.
No one expects direct sail towards one another. This is insane maneuvering.
Permission to fire again, desperately.
Go! Fire at will! Fire as much as you can!
Firing, Captain.
Ka-tonk! The ballista fires, it sails across the waters, which are lashing about as the storm whips up in a frenzy, slamming into the Prime Waters ballistas, dealing another 14 points of damage.
Nice. Is it the ballista that Prime Water is standing on top of, or the other one?
Nearby, from
Yeah,
your
yeah.
perspective, Indigo, you watch as the 6-foot-long bolt sails out of the front of the Second Chance and slams into the ballista nearby, splintering and shattering and causing much, much damage. You also watch...
Ballista that Gallon Prime Water is basically standing on right now?
No, sad. Well, let's roll for it. Let's roll for it. The one that's right next to Gallon Prime Water, yes. So Gallon will take 14 points of damage as it slams into him.
Just half the face is covered in splinters.
Yeah,
like-
bits of wood have exploded around him. From Skerrin sees what's going on. He looks from Prime Water, he looks at you, Indigo, he looks at the whole situation. I suppose this could be misinterpreted, but I don't really quite care, he says, as he also tries to stab you with a sword.
How can that be misinterpreted?
Yeah, I'm not.
Luckily,
He
he's
weaseled
really
out of it
bad.
last time, but he really bad and completely missed, even though he has, well, he shouldn't have had advantage on you, but he completely misses. Next up, Captain Crispin from the side of the ship has noticed that there is a demented Sharkan currently standing next to Kaleo and has rushed over and is about to attack the poor Sharkan. "Oh, hands off my helmsman there," he says. He swings wildly for you, Jagged Jaw, hitting you, dealing 12 points of damage as his saber just cuts cleanly up to the bone and, yes, causing no end of discomfort. There is also a chance that something else happens. Kaleo lashes out at you with his dagger and misses. However, Captain Crispin looks down at him and says, "You can do better than that, Kaleo. Remember your training." It's an ability that Captain Crispin has called Scurvy Dogs, which allows him to grant a fellow character the chance to re-roll their attack. So he swings at you again and connects.
Ah, that's the right way to do it, laddie.
Nice. Wait, do I have that? Can I do that?
You don't. 7 more points of damage as you get sliced, diced, and cut by this duo of death. Victor Salt. We're on a collision course, Captain. Is that really what you want?
No, 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 no.
Trust me, you dumb bastards.
Not to question your orders, Captain, says Lieutenant Tarquin. But shouldn't we hold on to something? Because I think we're going to hit rather heavily.
Not going to hit it. Prepare the grappling hooks.
Yes, but what if they hit us?
Well, then we hit them back.
Right. Okay. Nami is looking at his two cleavers and then the grappling hook. I don't have enough hands, Captain. Would you grapple or cut?
We'll grapple first, we cut later. We have to grapple to attach the ships to each other so that we can board them.
Yeah. Pound the steak first before you cut it up. I understand.
Yes, fine.
He buries his cleaver in the side of the ship and pulls up the grappling hook and slowly starts to swing it. A lad comes up on deck with his heavy breastplate. I'm ready now, Captain.
Alright, grab a grappling hook and help out.
Right. He grabs a grapple.
Yes. To clarify, I'm not going to try to, do that. I'm going to try to,
sail past them.
Yes, so that we can grapple and then we can sort of, be locked in an embrace of death.
That would be a great plan.
Mm-hmm.
If there was someone on the helm of the Prime Water.
I'm on the helm here, I can do what I can.
There isn't. So she is just sailing full sail ahead with that great big wheel just rolling around, lolling from side to side as the waves push the rudder in whichever way they so desire. So I'm going to roll a d8.
Could I do a sailing check to see if I can sort of predict exactly where it'll go?
Yes,
so that
give me a survival check, Captain.
Isn't there... I am...
proficient? Yeah.
Proficient. Yes, I'm proficient in use of sailing things.
Yes. So you get +5 to your survival check.
Alright, fair enough.
Captain Seal proficient.
Where's it? Where's survival? There's there.
Difficult to tell with these waters. You didn't add the 5, you only added the 1, so you get 16 in total. But you think you've gauged it. So that means I'm going to let you choose the number on the 8-sided die. That if it comes up, the ships will collide. If it doesn't, you will be able to scream past at magnificent speed. What number would you like on a D8?
5.
Oh. Everybody watches as the prow of the Prime Water slams through the waves. The second chance is gunning directly towards them. From the front, you're hearing,
"Come at me, you bastards! I'll shoot you all in the face!"
5, you said. You realize as a massive wave pushes the Prime Water to the side, you will slide past them if no one takes any action. On the gigantic octopus, John the Undead has started to make his way up the side of the Kraken. The two ghouls, Lavinia and Olivia, Queen, stand at the mangonels. The battle that's taking place down below Gankari does not seem to concern him too much. He has got a distant look in his eye, and you hear, Lohuna, the mangonel being winched back by the two ghouls as they seem to be preparing to fire at something.
Which direction is it firing?
Directly ahead towards... You can see the second chance busy bobbing up and down, but she's now sailing in the opposite direction to the Kraken, towards another brigantine that's sailing towards you, and behind... You can see the ships of the first rate of the humans, the Thordane ships, as well as the various lizard folk and that black smudge of a goblin colony ship. They've broken formation and are now sailing directly towards the Kraken as well. That's what
Okay.
you see.
So mixed messages. I'm seeing mixed messages here.
There's a lot. Who knows what's going on? Indigo or Berigo?
There we go.
Verigo is giving Galen Primewater the good old 1-2 bite, claw, or claw bite, whatever works best.
+5 to attack.
Jolly good.
Whoop. That's the bite.
Okay, so that would be an 18. If you drop it
Yeah.
onto Gelen, it will tell us if it's a hit or not. But
Ah,
yes,
and
I will look up the 18 quickly. Where is Gelen in my list of 500 NPCs that we're currently fighting? His armor class is 16.
Ooh,
So
So
your 18 hit. Do your damage.
nice. And drop it on the.
Drop the
on
damage.
map.
Oh, do you want me to do that for you?
yeah, I can't just
Yeah.
go and drop something on him.
All right.
But
Can't just drop something on him.
You deal 6
Like
points
on
of
bear.
damage.
Temple.
Your roll was better than mine. You deal 6 points of damage to Gelen as he
crunch, munch, munch.
make your claw attack.
I'm trying to
You just slice.
go.
11 misses. It scrapes across the chainmail shirt that he is wearing underneath his armor. You doing anything else?
Oh yes, I'm using a free action to burn one of my spell slots to heal myself for 1d8.
Nice.
Okay. Roll a d8 for me.
Whoop.
Oh,
Oh, great!
you won. 16 damage.
That's 11.
All right. It's better than nothing.
Are you done?
Yes, now I'm done.
From the front of this large Kraken, Lahuna and Flick, as a matter of fact, you hear Gankari issue an order, fire. And the mangonel behind him immediately rocks into action. Several others from around this gigantic creature fire as well. And you watch as these sail out towards the little ships known as the Second Chance, as it's floundering. Where is it?
Floundering. I know exactly where I'm going.
You know exactly where you're going. Yes, you do. Yes, you
Very
do.
decisive person. Thank you very much. That's why I'm the captain.
The first shot comes in and misses completely as they were aiming for a very specific location on the ship. The second one fires, the ballista sails out through the air, and I believe that will connect. It's an armor class. No, it doesn't. It's aiming for an 18. The third one fires and completely misses. There is blasts of water as these bolts land all around you. The undead are getting closer and closer, young Snicked, as they try and climb up the side of this very large undead creature. We are getting to Lahuna.
All right.
What are you doing?
Praying. I am praying.
Roll a percentile. What is your prayer?
Oh no! I'm in character praying. I'm not official D&D rules praying.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, house rules. Yeah. Okay.
Lahuna has found danger to concentrate her mind very strongly.
Okay.
And from the depths of her memory of her training, she prays a prayer to Elise that is a correct prayer. So she finally prays for the calm in the storm as she sneaks, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to sneak if I'm invisible? I probably do, yes.
You have major advantages. I'm not going to make you roll. Where are you going?
Okay. I want to go up here.
All right. That will take both your movements that will take a full action to get there, as you've got to climb up. Because you said you climbed down at the end.
Yes, I did.
All right. So you're going to climb up the side of the ship. Actually, no, hang on a moment. You were started up there, 5, 10, 15. Yeah, in order to get that close, you would have to take a double move.
Yeah, I'm willing to do it.
All right.
But actually what I'd like to do is end up just beneath the surface of the ship.
Uh-huh.
Because I know that when I put my feet down on the surface of the ship, the wood will bend.
Right. Right.
Which will give away my position, which I don't want.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to be like this at the end of my move.
Yes. Ready and waiting.
I know I cannot get this wrong.
But does Fantasy Grounds know that? Crewman 4 is remaining firmly tied in place. Crewman 6 is... Let's just go back to Crewman 6 as we leave this desperate paladin. Crewman 6 is looking at this bear. You got him, Mr. Primewater. You got him right where you want him. I won't steal any glory. You got the kill. It's all yours. I'll just be here if you need me, he says from the sides. Crewman 7 has now tied himself as well to the side of the ship, because that's what they think is going to happen. Jaggerjaw, you are bleeding, sir. What are you doing?
Well, Sting, as the captain, is quite a tough little cookie, as is the helmsman. Jaggerjaw thinks to himself, he's not gonna be able to keep these two from retaking the helm anytime soon. Jaggerjaw looks at the two of them square in the eye and he says, "You'd think a bloke as big as me, I must be the quartermaster, or maybe perhaps one of the main fighters aboard the Second Chance. But there was one role I took aboard that ship, because better than anyone, I know how to take apart a boat on the ship." And I reach to the wheel, and I take out the chuck plug from the center of the helm wheel, and I throw it into the ocean, allowing the wheel to drop off the rudder completely.
I'm going to give you a strength check on that one to pull this out.
I use my anchor as leverage.
You don't need to. You just grab that pin and pull solidly. The wheel immediately drops off and falls onto the deck. The captain looks from you, looks to the front of the ship, sees the Second Chance bearing down, and then watches as you just casually flick the pin over the edge. He knows that in the hold there's a spare, but it's somewhere in the hold. You've gone and done us rotten, you dumb fish! He shouts at you. You doing anything else? You
I'll
have
just
an
look at
action
him.
still.
That's dumb shark.
Right, you are.
That's Mr. Dumb Shark.
Flick.
Father.
I'm going to enjoy ripping your little entrails out of you, you little blue, scaly, wet sop.
Well, at least I still have a brain.
What are you doing?
No, I've never received the stats for this thing, even
That's
though
right.
I can't.
That's right. You did. I did give
my
you the
whole-
stats.
Did you?
I did. But that's okay. I don't mind.
What is it? What am I holding?
It gives you a +1 to attack, but it gives you a range of 15 feet.
Ooh. Wait, 15 feet?
Yeah.
How far away is Gankari?
Oh, by bad Euclidean geometry, he is 5, 10, probably about 17, 18 feet away. And you can't see him anyway. He's above you on top of the prow of the ship.
Okay. So he's not standing above it, and I can just see his
No,
head.
sadly. No, not your height either.
Okay, no, that's fine. I guess I just turn around and try and like swing at this massive lance thing.
Not so tough when you haven't got me hanging by a rope over certain death, are you?
I'm pretty tough, actually. You're surprisingly weak.
As I swing.
Make your attack.
Uh,
+5.
Best
Not
battle.
+5. No, wait. We realised that you'd zeroed yourself out with your -2 strength. Yes, Michael.
Does he take burn damage from Flick?
Oh, he should. He should, because he's not going to take any other damage. Yeah, you swing wildly this blade.
Oh, wow!
Again, it lances out to 15 feet of water and then pulls back again.
just spinning wildly.
You-
I'm
yes.
just going in a circle.
Yes.
A day like Flick.
Just going in a freaking circle. Gellin growls at the bear. If you didn't die first time, maybe you'll die a second time, he says as he thrusts towards you. He gets an 18 to hit.
He's got advantage.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I do know why. I am a dirty, dirty cheater. I will re-roll that. No, he shouldn't have advantage. Oh, I know why. Because you've got this effect loaded up. Give me just a second.
Oh, right, because the fantasy
'Cause
grounds thinks that you're unconscious.
It thought you were unconscious. There we go.
Right.
So let me find you, Indigo. Did I remove it from the right person? No, I didn't.
My wounds are gone.
How many wounds do you have? Should you have had? 4 or 6, I think. Give you 4. Doesn't matter. All right. He swipes at you. I will now make a proper attack at you. So ignoring that previous one. He swings at you. His rapier connecting even worse than before.
Oh no! Exactly the same as before.
Exactly the same as before. I am going to roll this. Hang on, before I do that, let's just punch in that. So that when I do this, your bear takes 18 points of damage. That puts it on. Where was the last one? 16 and 18. I think that's enough to drop you out of bear form.
Yes.
Yes,
And
it
any
is.
overspill is going to hit my real.
Yes, so 16 and 18 is what, 34? So overspill of 0. He literally zeroed the bear.
Perfectly.
Suddenly Indigo appears back on the ship. Well, at least now I can see your pretty face as I cut it open, he says as he looks at you. Snicked growls at you. I don't even know why you came here. What are you doing? He says as he swipes at you, young Flick. Another 18. It hits.
Oh!
For luckily only 2 points of damage.
Oh, I barely felt that one.
I can't take this.
He looks at you, his eyes narrow. Oops, first roll, not the second one. His eyes narrow and he does not connect what you are doing at all. He has no clue why you are fighting him. He just thinks you're a loser. The second chance is basically point on. Till fires again at the ballista on Prime Water's ship. He fails to hit. This bolt sails past you, Indigo, slamming into the water in the distance. He doesn't seem to care that you're
Just having so much fun.
200 feet in closing. 200 feet in closing. Scarron is going to try and stab you, Indigo.
Yes.
And gets a 14, which is a hit.
Yes, it is.
For 4 points of damage.
That's...
Okay.
I'm still standing.
Yes. Crispin is about to attack Jaggerjaw. When I need Jaggerjaw, Indigo, and everybody who's on the ship to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
Jaggerjaw, your dexterity saving throw is a miserable 5. It's better, however, than
Better than
the
what I did.
natural one that just arrived.
Oh,
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. When you try and save the
Kraken.
well,
Water, at least you have a swim speed.
that's true. There's
So
some
we say
saves
then
coming
on deck.
through. Captain Crispin has failed.
Something tells me he's going to be crispy.
Thrown all over the place. Scarron is okay. He doesn't fall over. But Crispin, Kaleo was already knocked down. Crispin and Kaleo are definitely down. The whole ship suddenly lurches to the side. And from where you're standing, Jaggerjaw, because Crispin has fallen over, as have you, by the way. From where you're standing, you can see under the water these bolts of energy sliding out from a ship or ships and just pounding into the side of the Prime Water as her hull is blasted open with tremendous amounts of damage.
That's your mama.
That's
my
your
mama.
Captain Salt, you are moving at maximum velocity. It is your initiative. You need to give me, with your crew quality of 5, give me a check. Roll a d20 and add 5 as the two ships sail past each other. Or sail next to each other, I should say.
For what? Because there is a grapple
Correct.
warding action
Yes.
that I wanted to use.
Yes, use it.
I use it. That's the ship's strength
That's the ship's strength. Sorry,
versus
yes.
target's hull AC.
Correct.
And I don't know how to do that. You can roll that because you probably know how.
I
can roll
I've
it,
got
but
the ship stats here. You can roll it. I'll give you the ship's strength. The ship's strength is +4.
+4. Then I need you to.
And I will tell you the target AC now. I believe the target AC is 15.
All right, here goes.
Go
Ooh!
The lines get thrown.
Fun!
You watch as a lad takes the grappling hook. Apparently he has not been trained in how to use it.
No.
So he does not sling it and then flick it. He takes it and he throws it like a harpoon at the Prime Water ship. And it just buries itself into the side of the deck as he just forces this thing in.
Through the wood.
Just through the wood with the blunt end. There are several shouts from the rest of the crew as lines get thrown over. You can see, however, in the water, the Minbei ships, the 5 warships of the merfolk, they've started to open up, firing into the hull of the Prime Water. And already she seems to be listing quite dangerously to one side.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nothing is happening with these guys. The Prime Water is just taking massive amounts of damage. She's on 154 damage so far. They are going to try to strafe the decks. They're going to try and fire at your crew. They are desperate. There isn't anyone who can, though, because they've all been knocked off of their perches, basically. The ship is listing. You are right next to it. Right on top of it, I should say. And we bounce back to the undead horde. This is Jorn, who is now 5, 10, 15, 20. Has arrived at the battle site with you, Flick. And is standing there. Snicked is shouting,
Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!
You can't kill me on your own! You're so weak!
Oh, give me an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh. Yes.
Stop! I'll show you that just 'cause you killed me first doesn't mean you killed me last.
Oh no, wait, I changed my mind. I do realise, because you're dead, you're very, very weak, so your friends can help.
He just launches himself at you. You have goaded him into a full attack. He's told the undead to stay back. Indigo! The ship is lurched sideways. You knocked off of your feet. You can see the cables from the second chance now have been extended out towards you, and is revealed. What are you doing? Prime Water is next to you. He also failed. Everyone basically failed. They're all knocked off of their feet except for Skerrin, who was not. He is getting ready to stab you yet again.
Oh, can you put me on the map as well?
I will do so, yes.
Thank you.
Wipes a little blood off her face where her nose met the ship with a little bit too much force. Looks up, squints at him, and says, "Thunder wave." Ooh! Knocks her fist down. Once more, try to knock him off the ship.
I don't know if you've got the range for that, but you blasted off. He has to make a dexterity saving throw. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm gonna drop it. Cast. Yes.
A Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. There we have it.
Ah! He fails.
Ooh.
Then
Your
he's
blast,
gotta
I think, is also going to hit Skerrin as well.
Yeah.
Skerrin is also knocked back. What is your damage?
The damage is 11. And they're both knocked back 10 feet, I think.
Alright, so they'll both be knocked back 10 feet. Skerrin is
not
just
so.
blasted across the deck, and you hear a satisfying snap as his one arm is definitely broken. He coughs up blood.
I will sell you to the brothels of Kandar for that, you witch.
He says as he's trying to get himself up off of his onto his feet. Skerrin rolled and landed and has immediately almost rolled back up onto his haunches. You can tell he's in no danger of death, but Prime Water is definitely damaged heavily.
Indigo slowly pushes herself to her feet, rolls her neck and her shoulders, and says, "I'm no witch. I'm a druid. And I am still going to eat you."
There is a moment, Lahuna, as you are crouched just below the edge of the ship. The railings here, you can see the boot of Commodore Gankari, and you watch as he raises his hands, and as he does so, those two massive tentacles of the Kraken rise up once again, with electricity starting to gather around them. And as his hands lift, he then points them very specifically at the very small little second chance conflagration, which is now bobbing around just below this massive behemoth. You reckon you've got a round before this thing discharges. The undead form a very ragged circle around this little battle of Snikt and Flick.
Fight, 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 fight.
Flick, you notice the one undead quietly pass some coins to the other one, who puts them in his pocket.
I'll take you up on that bet.
Sadly, they're not paying attention. Lahuna, what are you doing?
It's time! Lahuna is perched at the edge of the ship. She can see Gankari's stinky leg.
Yes.
It's about nose height. Not enjoying that. She shuts her eyes for a second and says, "Elise, who is the calm, help me bring calm to the ocean." Puts one arm on the side, swings herself over, and launches with advantage. I've been hanging on to since I sang Lahuna Matata about 6 episodes ago. The Kentra Aha into the chest of Havost Gankari, also known as Mr. Squidgy.
Please make your attack as you launch forward.
I can't take this. I can't do this.
Don't miss! You think?
Come on.
Oh! You sail forward and plunge that spear directly into his chest. That definitely hits. It sits in the middle of his chest, and for a moment his hands are still held. He turns. Yes?
As I do this, because it hit, I will have channeled.
Yes.
Divine Smite.
Yes.
I have smote him divinely.
Yes.
With the power of Elise. So as I stab him, radiant energy shoots out of the Kentra Aha.
It consumes him in this light. Your invisibility drops the moment the blade buries into his chest.
Luna looks like this.
Would you please roll as damage 5d20?
No, I don't want to do that, please.
That's a lot of damage.
We could split it up. Each one of us could roll 1d20.
So many dice.
No.
No, let her do it. Let her do it.
I don't know how to roll that many dice at once.
Just
Well, just
pick up the D20, pick it up, and then right click.
Natural 20, and an 8, and a 10. That's 38, 56.
18!
This is why we like to roll together, because then the maths is done for us by the computer. 30, 40, 56, 75 damage. And then please add on your smite damage.
Yes. What's a smite damage? What's a smite?
Smiting.
Because you watch as bits of his bone start to actually move to adjust for the blade.
No.
Oh, 3? Is that it?
I smoked for 3.
What's your strength modifier?
That's an excellent question.
He leans forward, his pale lips grinning at you as if this is not enough.
2. My strength modifier is 2.
And he explodes! As energy rips through him, ripping him in multiple different directions. There is the divine light.
In my eye.
You are covered in bits and pieces. There is this moment where behind you, you just hear thudding and thumping as the two ghouls behind you drop down dead.
I hope my mommy's proud.
Snicked.
Your dad's proud.
At you, Flick. Snicked is about to reach for you, and he suddenly goes, "Ow, shit!" And he just crumbles into dust in front of you. The skeletons around you drop.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I will come.
Flick! I think we did it.
Give me a perception check, Flick.
To see if she did it?
No, you are still involved heavily in your shenanigans. The crew of this doomed Prime Water ship, crewman 4 is now frantically trying to untie themselves because they realize the ship is sinking and there's grappling hooks that have just exploded around them. They are desperately trying to get off. Yes, you can.
I do my best screaming at people voice. Anyone who joins me gets mercy right now. One time offer.
I join. Crewman 7 says, I joined. My name's Mark.
Mercy to that man.
Yes, he says, hopping up and down. Jagged Jaw, you are up next. Roll for me, if you please, 1d10. Oh yes, you don't have any freaking dice with you. I will roll. No, I won't roll it because this is a very dangerous roll. I will ask for someone else. Any one of the other four of you. Roll a d10. If you roll a 1, 2, or 3,
I'll do it.
Jagsy's plan works.
I'll do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, a 6.
That's not a 1, 2, or 3!
Yes, there is a lightning strike which buries itself into the ocean about 60 or 70 feet away, vaporizing the water. It narrowly missed the mast and the lightning conductor that you had installed at the top of it because reasons. What are you doing? Crispin is staring at you. Kaleo is lying on the ground looking miserable. Jagsy.
Well, seeing that the crew is boarding the Gellan ship, I can't simply lie around here all day. I get to my feet, and as I stand up, I begin to channel the energies of the ocean and lay a healing spell upon myself.
Good, good.
What is the result? How much?
Yeah,
What do you roll? What is your value?
the cure wound spell.
Oh, you're using Cure Wounds. All right, so you have that ability, you do?
I do.
See
I
it
do.
there. Give me a second, and you cure yourself for 1.
Oh!
Not the
My
greatest.
potions are not effective today.
Welcome.
You two are a power couple, really are.
Yeah. We're supposed to heal, but actually we're better at damage.
Damage, you don't heal. You do damage. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So,
I think, given that the merfolk are attacking this vessel, it would be prudent that we leave. I look down at the two and say, "Well, it's been fun, lads, but that's my ride." And I'll start to move over, rushing towards the boarding party, trying to get back on the second chance.
you will provoke an attack of opportunity.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
2 attacks, right? Because
Yeah.
2 of them.
Kaleo and the captains swipe at you. Let me just find them quickly.
Do they get attacks of opportunity if they're on the floor?
Yes, they do. Because they didn't get up. Where are they? There is their attack. It's going to be done with that. He swings at you as you rush off. Come back here, fish! And hits you with disadvantage. And deals a staggering 8 damage to you, cutting you deep. Kaleo is going to do something else first. Nope, he failed. He swipes at you. Sadly.
Was that a roll to see if he...
It was a roll to see if he realised that he was on the losing side.
Yes. I did offer him mercy.
He
but it was
rolled a
lot.
natural 20 and a 4. And it's disadvantage, so he misses. You are heading to the side of the ship towards the second chance?
Yeah. And as he runs past Indigo, he'll sort of...
Indigo's at the front of the ship.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. If you want to run past me, that's going to be...
A hell of a run.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, is it sort of in between the two of us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I'm running towards it, I'll yell out to her and gesture towards the gangplanks.
All right. That is what you're doing. Flick, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw. The ground underneath your feet is starting to putrefy. It's getting dribbly. It's getting liquidy. With that check, you suddenly realize that if you don't get out of this now, you are going to fall inside this undead Kraken as it's starting to collapse around you like Snicked and the skeletons did. Give me an acrobatic saving throw, please, to grab onto a piece of, looks like wreckage that was lodged in its skull.
A religion saving throw.
You reach out, desperate to grab on, but it's slippery. and you start to slip into this hole which is forming around you. I will try and draw it here on the map.
Hang on, Flick! I'm coming!
I might have broken Fantasy Grounds. Oh, maybe.
Fantasy Grounds can't handle this level of epic!
It can't handle the pen tool on a map that big. Let's see what
You
happens.
can't handle the tool.
You can't handle the tool. That takes us to Galen Primewater. He is going to simply stand up, arm clutched.
I will not be defeated by you or any of Salt's lackeys.
He says as he lunges towards you once again. Whilst Fantasy Grounds is doing its thing, I think I broke it. I used a map that was too big. I will resort back to traditional dice. I happen to have one on hand, obviously. He slices at you, getting a 6, and completely misses.
Okay. Good.
Snicked is gone. The second chance, the crew board. They are fighting against almost no one as everyone has surrendered. And Fantasy Grounds returns.
It's back!
It just needed a moment.
It needed a moment. It
Had some
needed a
thinking.
moment.
It needed time. You've heard it
Did.
too much.
It did. I have. The crew have boarded. Skerrin
You wanna-
takes one look at the crew rushing across the deck. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out, Indigo, you see this very black little pearl, which he very politely just swallows and then leaps into the water.
Some water breathing.
Well, he's leaping down to where the
Yeah,
Where
the men
Molly
bay,
is.
the men bay ships are there, but it's unlikely that
why not?
they'll target him specifically. Captain
Oh,
Crispin looks
I-
up.
I don't know. Is Karen pretty?
No.
Because then Rahana is definitely going after him.
Wouldn't
That's
that
my mama.
Wouldn't that be something terrifying? Captain Crispin looks up away from the battle that's happening on his ship, and he goes, "My God!" Everybody looks up. The Kraken, those arms are just falling down into the ocean waves. The first one, I'm going to roll a d20. If it's a 1 through 5, it's going to hit the second chance. It's a 4. It wasn't in the piece there. It didn't roll. Hang on. It's a 12.
Fantasy Grounds.
The second one comes crashing down. This is a 1 or 2 chance that it hits the second chance. Just misses. I don't know why it's not rolling. Oh, I know why it's not rolling. I'm dropping it in the wrong place. That's why. I dropped it there. It completely misses as it slams into the waters. But the whole thing seems to be imploding as the ship right at the top of it is now starting to buckle into the skull cavity. Not that they have skulls, but into this great cavity in its head. Crispin immediately is throwing down his blades. I surrender, completely surrender. Kaleo does the same thing. Salt, what are you doing?
Tarquin! Get that damn horse of yours! Get over to that ship! Pick my people up right now!
He blasts a whistle, which I can't and won't do, as he tries to summon Daphne in the storm.
And then I'm going to... the magic knife that I got.
Yes.
Now I'm going to throw it at Primewater.
Primewater is... he stepped forward to attack you, Indigo. He raises that silver rapier. You can see the energy crackling on it. Roll the damage for this blade.
What's the
1d4
damage?
plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
1d4 plus 2.
1d4 plus 2. Yes.
I don't know if you can do it, but let's see.
I could just do
3 points of damage. The blade
something.
cuts into the side of Primewater. He snarls. I'm busy looking for him now in the list. He snarls. I Where the hell is he? In here somewhere. I missed him twice because I'm looking at the wrong colour. Sorry.
I should have rolled it on him. I'm sorry about that.
That's alright. That's Galen Prime Water. How much damage? 3!
3.
That's stunned with quite a point.
It cuts him deeply, and you can see blood spraying out of his neck.
Oh!
And he gurgles as he turns towards you. He doesn't drop, though. He clamps his broken arm. He sort of squashes the fat rolls on his neck to try and seal the wound to remain standing, but you can see blood is pouring around the side of his neck.
Finally, my betrayer has arrived.
He says as he looks at you, Salt.
I launch myself across.
Okay,
You know,
it's not
drawing my
hard.
sword.
You've got ropes all over the place.
Very dramatically, my sort of long leather coat flapping behind me as I land, and I just draw my sword out. I said, "So we're going to do this now, finally."
Indigo?
Indigo
Get back to the ship. I'll
looks
got
at
this.
Victor. And then she just touches 2 fingers in Primewater's blood. Gauges. Because she keeps her promises.
Where are you
She
heading?
needs to eat something of him.
It's not untrue. Not untrue.
It's not pretty, but it's what we gotta do. So that's what I do. I just disengage and let Victor handle this.
Alright, so you're going to step
Move
back.
back
Yeah.
next
Perfect.
to Victor.
Not a problem. He is dead. That's happened. I'm just cleaning out the corpses. Quite literally. As we move through. Don't know what happened to him. Where is Pinky Flick?
Isn't he dead?
Pinky's been dead for a while.
Oh yeah, you haven't brought
This
him.
this day has lasted quite a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right,
he died.
He died. Lahuna, you are standing. The deck is now starting to give way. This whole Kraken is collapsing in on itself. You notice Flick desperately scrabbling as the flesh at the top just gives in, and then you see him disappear, holding onto the edge of this piece of skin, but it's busy melting, dissolving in front of your eyes. What are you going to do?
I am going to dash towards Flick as fast as I can. I'm going to launch myself off this thing and roll so I don't remain stationary on any single point for too long.
Okay. That's what
I'm
you're
going
gonna
to
try
launch
to do.
myself.
Yes.
I'm going to attempt this, yes, exactly, and then you're going to tell me how much I die. I'm realistic. I roll quite expertly towards Flick and end up probably here because that looks like about 6.
All right. Give me an acrobatics check, if you please.
I shall.
Save him. Save the little blue baby.
There's my baby dragon.
Yes.
Save
The
my
little dragon must.
most annoying child.
You do indeed roll slick and dive towards him.
I've been trained for this.
You have indeed. You reach out your hand. Would you please give me a standard melee attack to grab Flick before he plunges into the entrail-filled sludge pits of doom?
Yes. How am I doing a standard melee attack?
Standard melee attack against Flick. To grab any part of him that you can.
It's just a strength roll.
But
Yeah.
not with a sword.
Yeah.
Just a strength roll.
Just a strength roll. Okay.
You grab him by the scruff of his
Yes!
seaweed armor, his driftwood armor. He hangs for a moment, but this whole shape, this whole thing is busy collapsing deeper and deeper into the water. That's where you are hanging.
I'm
Crewman,
glad you wear such great handles.
it's true. It is true. It is true. Crewman 4 is no longer a feature. He has surrendered. Crewman 6 has surrendered. Crewman 7 is already eating a sandwich provided by Name. Back to you, Jaggerjaw.
That we turn them.
So Jaggajaw's over by the boarding party.
Yes.
He's standing sort of flanking with Victor. Seeing that he and Gellin are going to settle the score, there's no other real threats on the deck at the moment, are there?
No.
So Jaggajaw is going to look at Alad, take off his coat and his anchor, and hand it to Alad and say, "Hang on to these."
All right.
What now?
Jaggajaw looks for the it's like a loading latch or a loading hatch for the lower decks.
It's there.
He's going to rip it open and jump down
Into the cargo hold of the Prime Water. All right, as you do so, you can see that she's got 3 large holes in her side, which are just gushing water in, filling up the holes already waist deep. Water is sloshing around you. What else are you doing?
Jaggajaw is going to start searching for the inevitable amount of treasure that he believes Gellin's vanity will always ensure.
Give me an investigate check. Water is busy washing up. I suppose there's no risk of drowning, but yes.
Do I need to? Just a quick question. Can I take my time with it? Like,
you want to take 20? No, you are in a sinking ship. But yes, your investigators are dirty 20 anyway. Look at this. I'm so happy that these are the roles that are getting for the PCs and not the NPCs. You start making your way back towards the back of the ship, where inevitably is the captain's quarters. Desperate to find it. Flick, you are hanging by the scruff of your neck. Looking down, you can see black entrails falling into this cavernous space, with arcs of lightning playing around inside this thing. Suddenly, next to you, the whole piece of skin just sinks down as the slimy goo as the Kraken is dissolving. What are you doing?
Is so if I stay, it's continuing to collapse, and I'm assuming
yes.
Luna is
Above.
like laying there,
Correct.
holding me.
Yes.
I'm like this.
The danger that you run is that you cannot breathe liquefied entrails. So if you fall in,
I know.
Yeah, your best bet is to get out and then leap into the water, because then you'll be relatively safe. A matter of seconds as Lahuna desperately holds on to you, the flesh already starting to drip underneath her.
Come on, Flick, it smells terrible here!
I'm going to look into Lahuna's eyes and say,
Oh, yeah, it does smell really bad.
and then I'm gonna cast with both hands Ray of Frost at Lahuna to basically blast her back.
But it's not going to do anything because I'm immune to cold damage. Because I'm a very deep sea creature. So as you do that, I just grab you even harder, and I'm like, "Come on, Flick, stop messing around! I'm gonna get out of here!
We're both gonna die!
Just climb my arm! Come on, let's do this!"
Okay, I'll try and climb her arm.
Alright, give me an acrobatics check.
You get a little bit from my armor. Lem, as you attempt to climb my arm.
The slime is just too much. You slip, you slide. Luna's still got her hold on you, but you can't get up. You're watching literally the flesh underneath Lahuna liquefy even more. Gellin turns and faces you, Salt.
So this is how it ends. Does it, Captain Salt?
He says, and he lunges directly at you. His blade glowing with fury, and he sends it deep into your chest.
Ow!
No!
You take 16 points of damage, but you succeed in not instantly dying.
What? What? It does that?
Yes, it did that to me.
Yes.
As a bear. It's easier to survive.
No, just not instantly dying would be bad.
Yes.
Everybody from the second chance is gathering around you, looking as the ship is now definitely leaning almost at 45 degrees as she is sinking below the waters. He disappears. Skerrin is no longer. He has managed to escape. Victor, you're up. Blood spraying from Prime Water. He stands, his eyes slightly blurred, but he is not giving in. What are you doing?
Wait. I want to use a maneuver for the first time. No, I'm going to use oh gosh, sorry. This has been too much. My brain is shutting down. I'm going to use disarm. I'm going to hit him with my sword, and I'm going to attempt to disarm him.
Make your attack. It misses.
I
all
taught
right.
you that trick, boy.
Then I'm gonna attack with the hand axe as well. I'm gonna do the offhand.
It buries into his clavicle where the knife had cut before, and he looks at you.
If
Well, I've
you
learned-
think that's enough.
And then blood just starts pouring out of his mouth. What do you say to him?
You're just an old man.
He keels over backwards, completely dead.
Oh.
Right, let's go. Everyone, back to the second chance. We need to cut loose. This damn thing is sinking.
No complaints from me, says Nami as they all leap across. Captain, says a lad.
Yes, the lad. What is it?
Jagsy's got me to hold on to his stuff and said I should wait here.
Where did he go?
Down in there, he says, pointing to the hatch.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Besides, he can breathe underwater. He'll be fine. Get back onto the ship.
Oh, that's very useful. I wish I could breathe underwater, he says, as he leaps across the gap to the second chance. You all move across. Indigo, you moving as well?
Yes, of course I am.
All right. We return to the tragic, perhaps or not. Indigo, you want to do something first?
Indigo just wants to tap Victor on the shoulder. Do you need healing?
No, I'll be alright. I'll be fine.
Then I will hold on to this for what might happen.
Good. Are you alright?
I am all right, yes, but I worry what might have happened to Lehuna and the little dragon.
Yes, well, I've sent Tarquin after them.
Let's make haste. And she starts slashing the
At the
lines
lines.
that are next to her.
Lahuna,
Yeah.
you hold this young flick beneath you, but you can feel that you're already starting to sink in as the surface is giving way. What are you going to do?
Lahuna looks into Flick's face and she says to him, "Tell them we did it. Tell them that I got it right for once." She is going to make Anne. Oh Jesus, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
He's going to make an athletics attempt to
Yes.
throw him into the water behind her. But she knows that when she does this, the resultant motion is going to push her down through the head of the Kraken. So that's what I'm going to try and do.
So be it.
We got it right.
With a tremendous flick through the air, you are flung upwards and outwards, Flick, away from Lahuna. As you sail across the air, you watch as just for a moment she looks at you, and then the whole structure just collapses, dragging her down into the darkness that is the carcass of this Kraken. You sail...
As a reaction, I cast Featherfall on both of us.
Alright, you cast Featherfall on both of you. You start to drift down past this spectacularly rotting eye as you lose sight of Lahuna disappearing inside the creature. Jaggedjaw, you have found the chest that you were looking for. There seems to be quite a large amount of coin here, stored in bags, individual bags of 100 crowns each. Definitely bounty to be paid to the crew.
As much as I'd love to, what I'm looking for is very specific. I'm looking for specifically deeds and title rights to Gellin Primewater's property in Saltmarsh. Specifically Nan's carpentry workshop.
They're not here. He didn't bring those with him, sadly. Just coin to pay the crew.
Alright.
Water is sloshing around.
I'll definitely grab that. Now, I assume that the water level's risen, so I'm basically...
Yeah.
So I'm sending out my electrical signal. I want to see if there's any living creature in the water around, like the Kraken. I'm basically looking for Lacuna and Flick at this point.
They're 600 feet away in the opposite direction, sadly. So,
okay.
Yeah, you're getting lots of signals. There's lots of stuff around, but none of it registers as anything familiar.
Okay. With the Kraken, I assume dead or dying with the tentacles that fell from the sky and stuff like that.
Yep.
I'll grab the loot, and what I'll do is I'll move my way back to the back of the captain's ship.
All right.
I'll basically try and find a porthole exit to swim out.
A lot of big holes. Maybe this.
There are lots of holes for you to escape from. This is not difficult.
I'm also going to cast Long Strider on myself and improve my swim speed.
All right. Give me a perception check, if you please. Oh, yes, I have to roll for you.
Best dice roll ever.
6.
Oh,
you
no!
don't see anything. You don't see anything. Flick, we're out of initiative now. You drift down onto the water surface as this bubbling, roiling mass finally submerges beneath the waves. You can see the second chance 600 feet away, busy bobbing up and down. She doesn't seem to be in a huge amount of damage or danger. Behind her, this fleet of ships is arriving, and frantically overhead is this Pegasus busy circling with someone shouting down, is anyone there?
As soon as I hit the water,
Yes.
I dive down towards the Kraken.
All right. Well, it becomes difficult because the entire area is now filling with this black, dissolving goo as the Kraken slowly drifts down towards the pit of Golgur.
I would like to cast Shape Water around my own face.
Okay. What shape? So you-
Bubble of water.
All
and I
right.
can breathe.
Aha. Interesting. Give me a perception check. You have disadvantage, unfortunately, unless you have dark vision. Do you have dark vision?
No.
All right, disadvantage as you frantically search. It's too murky. You losing sense of direction, and there's bits. You see a hand which you think might be Lahuna's. You swim towards it, only to realise it's body of some human or other irrelevant as you are busy swimming around. It's sinking deeper and deeper and deeper.
I keep going. I follow it.
All right. Indigo, Indigo and Salt on the ship.
I'm gonna turn the ship around to head towards where the Kraken sunk.
All right.
Get him
You start
as
giving
fast.
those orders. We're being signalled, Captain. It's the first rate.
Fine. I pull Morley out of the barrel and I
Oh,
put
thank
him
you very much. Ooh,
on
listen,
I put him on the helm to steer, and then I'll go to check out the signal. He's like an autopilot. You're just gonna hang him on
on the wheel, and he takes over.
the.
There's signalling. You should look at your arcanogram, Captain.
Fine. Just dig it out.
Immediately, the Admiral appears. I must
What?
admit, I did not think that it was going to work, but congratulations. You have destroyed the threat.
I haven't. My first mate did, and she's still with that thing.
Well, the Merfolk fleet are here. I will contact the ambassador immediately to start looking
Good.
for your crewmen, of course. Captain, it would be our honour if you and your crew would to board our ship once we have recovered all of the missing individuals, of course.
Why?
You have just saved the Azure Sea. I think we should say thank you at the very least.
Oh, right. You don't have a problem with I sort of point just as Primewater's ship sort of disappear.
Captain, between you and I believe that you have rid us of two of the most pestilent, corpulent, revolting things that I have ever had the displeasure of having to engage.
You have no idea.
Now, I had a very, very, very long state dinner. I think I do have some idea of what kind of creature that individual was. Nonetheless, we will dispatch whatever aid we can.
Good. All right. Fine. So put the thing away. I wasn't like not having expected a good welcome from anyone on a first-rate ship ever. He was more sort of still kind of weirded out about the whole situation.
Indigo? Are you doing anything?
She just pats Victor's arm and then leaves them there and starts giving maybe useful commands to the rest of the crew to get the second chance moving as fast as she can.
Indigo, why don't you take care of the wounded? Since you're the ship's doctor and everything?
She looks around. Are there many wounded?
There's some bumps and scrapes, but the most wounded would be,
Us?
yes, yourselves.
Very well, Captain.
Yes, I was stabbed
Come here.
near the kidney, so please, yes. It does hurt quite a lot.
I cast my cure wounds and then I will have to come up with something else.
By the way, Indigo, what does the ostrum mean, actually?
The Ostra?
Yes.
Oh, you don't know?
No, you keep calling me Ostra, and I'm curious.
You, do know that my people they work differently when it comes to love and marriage and
Sure.
and right?
Sure, you have the 3 people thing, right?
Yes, Yastra is the one you don't have.
Oh, so it's because I have a womb, right?
I actually didn't think you just feel like one. You know,
Yes. Well,
there's one who gives the egg, and one who gives the sperm, and one who carries the children, and you feel like a person who will protect growing things. If you're offended, I will stop.
no. It's fine. I think it's the
don't know.
nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, actually.
Really?
Yes.
I will keep calling you that then.
All right. Let's go pick up the others.
Yes, Captain.
Underwater, Shakan, Jagsy, what are you doing?
Jagsy is still streaming towards what he can see in the distance as the large mass of the black putrefying corpse. He is concerned about Lahuna and Flick. He try and detect anything that seems like it would be large enough to be either of them. As he makes his way, literally just focused entirely on that.
You need to, as you are swimming, you start to realize that the water is getting clearer, and there must definitely be something happening above. But below, there is something happening as well. There's a strange, almost orange glow coming from the pit of Golgur, and you can see the massive form of the Kraken slowly sinking deeper and deeper and deeper towards it as the Kraken continues to break up and just putrefy the water. Flick, you are swimming desperately in this muck. You start to hear singing.
And a bottle of banana daiquiri.
Flick desperately swims towards the sounds.
And a bottle of banana daiquiris.
You find Lahuna wrapped in this bit of flesh. She is pale, looking as if she is not going to last for very long in this quagmire. What are you doing? Lahuna, you see Flick bursting and he has this bubble of pure water around his head.
Hi, quick, come on.
I just hug her and start pushing her up and swimming upwards.
All right, combined, the two of you need to give me a strength check, please. You need to beat at least a 20 to break free of this dredge.
Ooh.
Just need a 4 from you, Flick.
Every...
A 6 will do! A 6 will do! Jaggerjaw, you watch as this little bolt of blue and coral and brilliant red bursts out of the side of this black morass, and it can only be Flick and Lahuna swimming desperately away from this big mass which sinks deeper down into the pit of Golgur.
Jaggerjaw's got this huge grin on his face. He then sort of dead for a moment, regains his glowering as he swims up to meet up with them.
All right. And 3 of you meet up without a problem and then head for the surface, I assume?
Yes. If possible, checking them for injuries.
Heavily.
I will throw a cure wounds on them just to help hide some of those injuries.
All right. They're actually not as badly wounded as I thought they were. Yes, Lahuna?
The moment that they break into clear water,
Yes.
Lahuna starts just going like mwah, 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 all over Flick. And he takes lay on hands, literally in this case, to the extent of his injuries.
All right. It's not a lot.
Lay on lips.
Yeah, Jaggy, you're basically the most injured at this current moment in time. You've got 28 wounds. Everyone else basically doesn't have very much. So, but yes,
It's stretched.
you eventually break the surface of the water where the second chance is nearby. Someone shouts, "Oh, I found them, Captain!" As this Pegasus does a low pass over the water's edge. Already it is obvious that the sun is starting to beat through these black clouds which used to hover and threaten death. They now no longer have any strength here. And the massive form of the first rate starts to slide up next to the second chance. The crews...
Throw them a line! Throw them all the lines!
Just a whole bunch of ropes get thrown down the side. Already you can hear cheering coming from the second chance and from the first rate. The dwarves ship slowly pulls in and starts blasting on this massive horn as our characters are dredged from the water.
I pick Lahuna and Flick up in like each one in my arms and just hug them so tightly.
Blah, 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 blah.
Tiny bastards, you did it!
Tiny bones. Ow.
All right. Oh, you can take a bit of a hug. I'm so glad to see you.
Big head between
did
Victor's
it.
legs, raise everyone up onto his shoulders.
Oh, stop!
Luna,
All right, Jaxie,
Indigo,
that's okay. Put me down.
are you getting in
Coming
on
up.
this hugging action?
Indigo looks at Chief Nemi and
Name.
get him some food.
Ah, but of course, I have had a special sandwich prepared from the moment that we started. I had no delusions that we were not going to be successful. I have named it Victory et Calamari, of course, he says as he turns and runs towards the kitchens.
And then Indigo slinks over and
Joins the hug.
eats against this ball of hugging people.
And on that note, the adventures of the Second Chance conclude. With a group photo and selfie on the deck of the Second Chance ship.
Pan away as they hug.
Pull out, or do we? We don't. We actually dip deeper into the water. There's a certain ambassador who's already swimming free of her warship heading towards her daughter. But below that even, we sink even deeper, following the black carcass of the Kraken as it sinks into the pit of Golgur. As it gets towards the darkness, that strange orange light starts to filter up. And for just the briefest of seconds, it looks as if there is fire in the water. And what's all that about? Well, that's second season, isn't it? And here's a little teaser for all of you.
Ooh.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, that's so cool.
Descent into Avernus. The Blood War. We'll return with second season probably mid-September, so watch for details everywhere. To my wonderful players, I thank you so much. That was a touch-and-go conclusion. Oh my goodness. I don't know how it played out. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate all of you. And to all of you watching, thank you for your support throughout the season. And yes, final thoughts on season 1 of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Michael.
I'm gobsmacked, mate. Yeah, no, I had so much fun. From start to finish, getting to know all the characters, getting to know all the stories, and of course this gripping finale. I mean, my God, it was such an emotional roller coaster. I am satisfied. Just doesn't even come close to describe my feeling right now. So I'm over the moon. Captain
Salt, are you proud of your crew?
So proud of them, and none of them died. I'm so happy. I don't think Victor's. I think Victor's actually seeing a bright future ahead for the first time in his life, which is nice. And I mean, there's so many like thoughts about like what will the characters do next and what will happen and stuff. But you know, we'll see. I guess sometime maybe. The season, it was amazing. The game was fantastic. I adored it. It was so good. All the NPCs were amazing, and it was so much fun. And this intense finish. I'm gonna go pass out after this. I don't know what to do with myself. But no, thank you for this game. It was amazing to play, and
All right, there we go. I mean, I share your sentiment completely. Indigo?
Well, anything I could say about the game has already been said. I want to say a little bit about the people that I had the pleasure of playing with. I hardly knew any of you before we started, but it kind of the little miracle happened that often happens when you find people to play tabletop role-playing games with. I love you all. You're awesome. I'm going to start traveling around the world to find you. I miss Jenny Bell. It was a near miss this summer. We're going to try again. I'm going to see Michael in Australia. Yes, I'm going to Australia. Not only to see Michael, but also we're going to meet up with Michael and his crew and his people. And I want to tell everyone out there, these guys, they're all amazing. So check out what they do when they're not on this campaign. Look at what Keora does. He's a map master. The stuff he does is just beautiful. Guy, you've seen what he does. Just look up his How to Be a Great GM channel and he'll become a great GM, I guess. Jenny, anything you've been doing, guys, check that out. Windswift campaign,
Yes.
everything. Of course, what Janet does with World Envy is a boon to the whole community of role players that use online tools and anything, and you got that any. You go, girl. Say hi to Demetrius.
I will be.
And of course, check out Michael's stuff that he does as Dead Aussie Gamer. He's hilarious and he's a great guy. And well, you could take a look at Orange Butter. And we sometimes also do videos in English. For instance, the Larian thing we did it in English, so you might see some stuff you like. And yes, this is amazing. A gang formed. And to repeat myself, I love you all.
There we go.
Thank you for inviting me to this.
Our absolute pleasure. Janet?
Whew, that was a journey, wasn't it? I think back to our first session when we just started and we were learning who the characters were and we were learning about the campaign and there was a lot of rules for the ship combat that we didn't know quite yet. I was so nervous. This is my first streamed game ever. So to come into a streamed game with players who are as incredible as you guys are, thank you, first of all, for having me here. But I love the fact that we got to this point at the finale, this photo finish, that we had no idea how it was going to shake through. And everybody did it in this characteristic way that was perfect for them. You couldn't write it better. It was glorious. Thank you so much for letting me be part of this incredible journey.
You couldn't write it. You couldn't plan for it either.
No planning for us. No, sorry.
Keora, last thoughts?
I think you broke him.
Yeah, speechless.
I think Mark.exe has stopped working.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. It's a very, very emotional game, and it's incredibly. It's just blowing my mind. It's been amazing. Like, it's not just this final episode. It's just playing in this game has been so fun. In the first game before we started, I was nervous about playing, and every game since, I've just been absolutely overjoyed to spend 2 hours with you guys. It's just fantastic. And everything that everybody's already said is true. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. I love you all too.
There we go. People in chat, very kind comments. First time on the channel. Great story, all great characters and fun people to watch. Great job, says X Kane Reaver X. There we go. Beautiful work, says Sudin. So lots and lots and lots of support from everybody. Thank you. Mlem, you all later, says Theft Test. White Tiger 225, thank you for the stream. So yes, thank you to everybody. I couldn't have asked for better players. You guys certainly rolled with the punches, so I really enjoyed it. We will be back for season 2. Like I said, watch social media for all of the updates, both from Wizards of the Coast as well as from Great GM and from everybody here as well. We all share this information. So yes, look out for that. Mid-September is when we're starting. That teaser trailer will be available for you to have a look at Without a doubt, as we move into season 2, there's going to be some really exciting stuff. The support that you gave us for creating NPC crew. I never anticipated how many names we were going to get. We got, in the end, over 800 submissions for NPC names. I would have to have an entire crowd scene just naming every single one. So thank you to everybody who submitted names. Mama Saduq's treasure is there for one lucky person, plus there's extra stuff for 3 other people, so go and have a look. Find that treasure if you can. Again, watch out for announcements when that will air. A huge thank you to our sponsors, World Anvil, of course, worldanvil.com. We absolutely love you. Dungeon Fog for all of those maps that we had to flick through today. Thank you for those, Dungeon Fog, as well as providing the soundscapes of the oceans and the storms and things in the background. And of course, Fantasy Grounds for rolling well for the player characters and not rolling well for the NPCs. So good job there, as well as for enabling the ship combat to happen so seamlessly. We do thank those 3, and of course Dungeons and Dragons for giving us these amazing stories. Descent into Avernus is season 2. It is called The Blood War. We will have the same players, but will they be the same characters? A merfolk in hell.
Sounds fishy to me.
Sounds fishy indeed. So watch out for that. Hopefully we will see you there. And as I said, we're doing something different this time. It's not NPCs you'll be providing. You will be helping fight the Blood War. Until then, however, join us for Below Decks, which will start shortly. We are way over time here, but join us for Below Decks, twitch.tv/GreatGM, where you can ask questions, pass your comments along, and chat to the cast. Until we return, however, from all of us to all of you, thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.